Hey Gordon, it's David Olkowetsky with ArtisanRevere. I wanted to say thank you very much for your order, for your business, for your trust in us. It means the world to me, it means the world to my guys in Idaho and the rest of the supply chain throughout Michigan and Pennsylvania and New York. So thank you sincerely, we appreciate it. We've made these knives to significantly outperform any knife on the market today. We use Elmax steel, which I'm sure you know. Our handles are made out of Richlight, and we finished the blade off with what we think is a pretty premium custom quality leather sheath made from English bridal leather, produced by one of the only two tanneries left in the United States, a tannery called Wicked and Craig. Purpose of this video is twofold. Number one, I'm going to give you a couple care pointers. I apologize, I'm not sure if you're a professional chef or you're a home cook, so some of this might be review for you. Some of it, even for professional chefs, is new to them for the first time they're hearing some of this stuff. We as knife makers see it on the back end, even though professionals are obviously utilizing the product day in and day out. And in addition to that, in addition to some of the knife care pointers, I'm also going to do a quick quality control inspection. Obviously, we have very, very powerful QA throughout the knife making process, and then we obviously also do a QC final check prior to anything coming to me, but I like to put hands on every single product that goes out the door. Thankfully, we're still small enough where I'm able to do that, but as you can see here, maybe we still have a few more knives to get through today. So again, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it. Let's begin with giving you a couple pointers on knife care. So for professional chefs, one of the things that some of the professional chefs that we've worked with do or could potentially improve upon is honing. So we suggest a ceramic honing rod. If you have one of the hard steel honing rod, FDIC makes some very good ones. Those are okay, but they need to be really, really smooth. So the very basic technique that most cooking schools teach, which we do not like as knife makers, is as follows. The reason we don't like this is if you're in the middle of service and somebody's walking in front of you, you can actually accidentally catch them. That's number one. But frankly, for us as knife people, the thing we care more about is what's it doing to the edge. Sorry, I'm hearing some weird noises outside. What it's doing to the edge is this. It's very difficult to maintain. I mean, it's not that difficult, but it's easier to maintain a consistent edge doing a different technique. So the thing that we really don't love is that it's not the easiest thing in the world to maintain a super consistent, oh, see, there we go, just missed, technique. Granted, I wasn't 100% paying attention just now, I was talking, obviously. We've also seen some butchers bring it in this way. We don't like this. Again, inconsistent. You want to be very, very consistent with your angle. It's super important in terms of both sharpening, when you're sharpening on a stone, or sharpening on a work sharp, which, by the way, if you don't have the time to sharpen, phenomenal product. We're going to be coming out with a 45-minute long video going through the nuances of sharpening on a work sharp. If you've got 45 minutes to spare and you want to bring all of your knives up to incredible sharpness, like almost as good as out of our factory, which you'll see in a second is crazy sharp, the work sharp is a phenomenal product. The better way to sharpen is by the way, this is a prototype made out of plywood, so there's no reason to worry that I'm doing anything crazy here. You're going to put the honing rod, the ceramic honing rod, into a cutting board or into some sort of other surface. You're going to slowly and consistently, without a lot of pressure, move back and forth. And you can hopefully see in the video, hopefully my technique is good, I think it is, that I'm maintaining a very consistent angle. It doesn't matter if you go up in one, just straight across, or straight or down like this, or some combination of the two. Really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, or the only two things that matter are you maintaining a consistent angle? That's very important, number one. And then number two, are you doing it, you don't want to be going too hard. So that's honing. Next, a lot of professional chefs, we see this all the time. They're dicing, they're chopping, they're mincing, whatever, and then they're scooping with the cutting edge of the blade. We don't want you to do that. If you're a professional chef, or if you've been cooking for a long time, it might take a little bit of time to rewire your brain. It took me a while myself when I realized that we were doing this. If you're gonna scrape with the same tool, which during service, I mean, if you're not bringing in a bench scraper, you're going to be using the same tool. I would like you to consider using the spine of your blade, because the spine of your blade it's like you don't have to worry about it. Your cutting edge, it's very, very thin. This is a 13th thou behind the edge blade. It's not quite as thin as some of the craziest Japanese lasers that I've seen. So like Takamura makes a 6.5 thou cutting edge. Our knife cuts as well, but it's nowhere near as brittle. That Takamura blade made out of SG2, which is the closest Japanese steel to this, even though it pushes out 738 times more CO2 equivalent emissions, which, like, why? That's the closest in terms of steel quality. It is so brittle, you can't do anything other than like prepare sushi and soft vegetables. Our blade is far more robust. So anyways, so those are the kind of the 2 pointers for professional chefs: honing steel into the board, consistent strokes, and please use the spine of the blade. Aside from that, obviously you want to, this is it's not meant as a box opener. I mean, you can use it as a box opener if you want. Cardboard has a lot of silica content. Silica is very, very deleterious to the blade, to the edge of the blade. I mean, you're going to shorten your blade life a little bit. I'm going to send you a detailed guide in email explaining everything you need to know about how to keep this blade in perfect condition. The one thing we don't talk about there is sharpening. If you like, I can send you the sharpening video that I'm putting together over the next couple of days. We really love the Worksharp product. I can get a blade screaming that's dull, that I've literally bricked, meaning I've rubbed it across either a brick or like the bottom of a ceramic plate. I can get a blade screaming sharp with the Worksharp in under 5 minutes. So it's awesome, awesome product. All right, cool. Oh, one other thing, really, really important. I have to say it: no dishwasher. Dishwasher voids all knife warranties, whether it's ours or any other company's. Super important. The dishwasher has the potential to severely damage your cutting edge, especially if your blade is hitting up against ceramic plates or glass or whatever it is, or other steels. That's number one. Number two, it's going to pull out all the moisture from your handle. Your handles are going to look like, not so great. That's number two. And then number three, it's also going to pull out all of the epoxy from the handle. So there's 2 things that hold these handles together. One is these 4 pins, and then 2 is the epoxy between the scales and the tang. You're going to pull out all that epoxy, so you're going to be relying completely upon the pins, which is fine. It's just not going to look as good. Just avoid the dishwasher. Remember, hand wash. Use warm water, ideally, with soap. You make sure you're using a non-abrasive sponge. So when you're buying sponges, you can see some of the packaging will actually specifically say non-abrasive. Use that. The abrasive ones have material in them called aluminum oxide. Aluminum oxide is one of the things we literally use to sharpen blades. So if you're going to be, scratching up the cutting edge, you're essentially scratching up the cutting edge with a material that is hard enough to sharpen your knife. In this case, you're not going to be sharpening, you're going to be dulling your edge. Okay, so those are some of the main pointers for knife care. Again, you're going to get an email from me with all of this information. Now we're going to do what you are far more interested in, I'm sure, which is do our final QC inspection. So let's pull out your blade. By the way, this is your knife right over here, and it's going to be with you in about 2 days. So I'm going to pull this out of the sheath, and I'm going to start my inspection. So the first things first, I'm going to feel the handle and make sure that these 4 pins are completely flush with the handle, and they are something that we spend a lot of time on. Next, I'm going to inspect the scales and make sure there's no gaps. Just do a quick visual inspection. Even more important than that is the hand inspection. Yeah, this is perfect. I'm checking to see if it's smooth. I don't want you to have any hot spots. I'm going to oil this and clean it before I ship it out, so don't worry about it. Next, I like to do a little bit of, I like to make sure that our blade is just a tiny bit flexible. You don't want a blade to be super, super rigid. You want to be able to have just a little bit of flex. So what I do is I put it into a cutting board, and I just push down a little bit, and I just check to see if there's any flex. And there is, just just perfect. Next, I'm going to check the spine. We round our spines. We don't want it to be super squared off. If you're a professional cook, as I'm sure you know, over many years, you've obviously got a callus on your index finger. You've most likely got a callus on your middle finger. That's why we round our spine. That's why we round our choil. That's this area right here. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to try to, yeah, there we go. Right over there. That's the choil. So we round both of those. I check that. Next, of course, we're checking the balance of the blade. I like all of our blades, well, all of our large blades anyways, to balance right in front of the handle, so that balances perfectly. Next, we're gonna do a quick, I cut my finger, so I can't do my usual chip test. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be super awkward because I'm lefty, but whatever, we'll make it work. We're gonna check along my fingernail. Super. No chips at all that my fingernail could feel. I'm gonna just do another check right here to make sure it's crazy sharp. So I'm just making sure it's just grabbing my skin just a little bit. It is. This is wicked sharp. We're gonna do a little edge flex. So this is just to confirm that our heat treat is perfect. You know, look, we check every blade coming out of heat treat, but I like to just check again because I'm a little bit OCD. This is really nice. Before I send out any knife, I always do a magazine cut test. Drum roll. This is the moment of truth. Let's see how we do. Oh yeah. Oof. Oh, sorry about that. Everything's a little awkward for me because I'm holding everything's like, you know, nothing is quite right because my finger is a little bit off. So let's just do that again really quickly. Yeah, it's like this paper is not even here. It's, oof. Oh my God. This is wicked sharp. Let's just do a quick grind check to make sure that we're within our tolerance. Yeah, that's really nice. Ooh, this is a really beautiful grind. So I like to also just check for straightness. Every blade we put out is straight, but just in case. Checking the light, make sure it's straight and well ground. You've got a really nice knife coming to you. Enjoy it. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them. I'm here to help. Reach out to me on email, on Facebook Messenger. Any way you want to get a hold of me is totally fine. I almost always get back within 24 hours. If it stretches to 48, I apologize. We're in the middle of, and also just as FYI, I'm shipping your knife to you. We are getting our new packaging in about 30 days. We don't have it yet. I'm sending it to you in a nice, you know, safe, secure, sturdy brown box. It's gonna be very well wrapped, zero concern for damage. I apologize, we don't have our brand new knives yet. I'll also send you our little QC checklist so you can check for yourself. And thank you so much, and we really appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your day.